got a great big box full of a bunch of books, a few books, 5 books, 4 books, probably at least 4. There's 3 that I want to talk about right here and right now because I've got one of my very favorite authors involved, contributed. There's an author by the name of Sheldon Lord who published books back in the 60s, who wrote books back in the 60s. One of them called Sex Shuffle from 1964. Another one called Pads Are for Passion, 1961. I've got those books in here. There's another fellow by the name of Lee Duncan who wrote a book called Fidel Castro Assassinated in 1961 as well. That's what I hear. I wasn't around at that point in time. Born in the 70s myself. But those books have something in common. They were actually written by this fellow named Lawrence Block, who I am a big fan of. I discovered Lawrence Block in 2002, I think. 2001 or 2002. I don't recall which. I was paying attention to a book club that was put on by a professional wrestler that wrestled under the name of Lance Storm. And one of the books that he put up in that book club was Burglars Can't Be Choosers by Lawrence Block. And it was the first book in a series about a character named Bernie Rodenbar, who was a burglar who then morphed into a old bookstore owner and had to burgle also to kind of make ends meet and stuff like that. But a great character, and I love the series. And then later on, I jumped into the Matthew Scudder series, who's an ex-cop who'd become a detective. You might have seen the movie starring Liam Neeson, Walk Among the Tombstones. The movie, I did like the movie. I do like the books better. And also other characters. A hitman by the name of Keller. I guess you might call him an adventurer of all sorts who can't sleep by the name of Evan Tanner. So he's got some well-known series characters. And in all honesty, that's what I've read. I've read the series characters, and I haven't jumped, although I do own quite a few of them, I haven't jumped into some of his standalone books. What I'm here today to talk about are 3 books published by Subterranean Press very recently, signed and limited editions by my very favorite author, one of my very favorite authors, Lawrence Block, and I couldn't resist, so I had to jump on in. I hadn't read these books. I do have a couple of them. And the titles I gave you were the original titles. The names I gave you were pseudonyms that Lawrence Block wrote under. But I have a couple of these novels. I don't have the third one. And these were hard case crime novels. Killing Castro and A Diet of Treacle. And I don't have the other one, which we'll see in a minute. But we'll see the Subterranean Press version of the other one called Lucky at Cards. I just don't have it in this set. I do. This series has been published by multiple publishers: Titan, Subterranean Press, somebody else whose name I can't recall. So we'll just kind of go under the hard case crime novels. But they've resurrected quite a few of these old hard-boiled crime novels, as well as some new stuff. You might have recognized the style because there's some Stephen King books on the shelves at the bookstores that are part of this series. And I got some hardcovers, some soft covers. It's pretty neat. But what I'm here today to talk about is Subterranean Press Signed and Limited Edition. And let's open them up. Subterranean Press took care of me. Great big box, stuffed full of fluff. All kind of good stuff. These things don't taste good. Don't eat them. I don't know. They don't taste good. So I got these Lawrence Block books wrapped in a bubble mailer. Here's what I came here to talk about today. Let's unwrap our bubble mailer. I love getting books from Subterranean Press. I feel far more confident in the condition that they're going to be in because of the the steps that they take to make sure that the condition is going to be great. All right, now let's see. What do I owe? What do I owe? No, I don't know. Doesn't say. Just tells me what I got. Don't even tell me the price. All right, so there's that. And let's take a look. I got a bookmark, which I dig. A bookmark that's got all 3 covers of all 3 books that are in this book unboxing part of this purchase, which is neat. One bookmark for 3 books. I do have another one just like it, so I can go with this set too, and I'll have to come up with another one somewhere along the way. Which one do I want to look at today? Let's start with this one, because I don't know how to say the name. I don't know if that's the correct pronunciation. A Diet of Treacle. Now, I haven't read any of these books. By the way, I do have some softcover copies that I can read, and I just realized that one of them was signed. I didn't even know I had a signed copy of them, but I do. So here we go. A Diet of Treacle. This book is 1961, originally written. Pads Are for Passion, but then it was reproduced 2008, 2009 by Hard Case Crime, and the dust jacket artwork by Chuck Pyle, and Subterranean Press, I guess, simply used the same artwork from the Hard Case Crime books, which looks really cool. So why recreate when you can borrow? Anyway, it looks great. And then the back gives us a little quote. What does the quote say? A potboiler mortality play at its finest. It will give readers the delicious and all too rare feeling that anything could happen. Publishers Weekly. And there's my spine. So let's get this dust jacket off. Sex, drugs, and murder in the land of lotus eaters. All right. Get the dust jacket off and see what she looked like in here. Cloth boards. Blue foil stamp spine. Looks good. How's our binding, as you would expect from Subterranean Press? Smith's-own binding works for me. Solid colored end papers. A signature page. Lawrence Block. This one is copy number 126 of 500. Copy 126 of 500. That's A Diet of Treacle. I do not believe that there are interior illustrations in this book. These books, they're short. They're not long. They're short. They're not long. Probably. That's probably going to be true in most cases. 147 pages. And there it is. Book number 1 in this Lawrence Block set. Killing Castro. Killing Castro. So I already told you this one was originally published as Fidel Castro Assassinated under the pseudonym, the pen name of Lee Duncan in 1961. It was published by Hard Case Crime 2009 under this name, Killing Castro. And the artwork here is by Sharif Terabay. Let's open her up and see what she looked like. All right, there's my dust jacket cover art, and they look so good. So I'm really glad that Subterranean Press used the Hard Case Crime book covers, because if there's one thing that set of books has going for it, is they have some really good looking covers, and this is no exception. So I would have done exactly the same thing. There's the spine. And what does it say on the back? Hard Case Crime continues to resurrect early work by genre stalwart Lawrence Block. And this one is the most interesting find of all. Plenty of blood and bullets, and as always with Block, a fine feel for character. Book list. So some kind words from book list. Let's take off this dust jacket and see what she looked like. Cloth boards looks a little bit slightly a different color. A different color than the last one. And there's our gold foil stamp on the spine. There is the Smith's-own binding, solid colored end papers, and this one, number 126 of 500, signed in person by Lawrence Block. So it looks like so far my set is matching numbers, which is cool since I ordered them together. They ship together. That makes a lot of sense, so thank you. Appreciate it, Subterranean Press, for at least hooking me up these first two with a matching number. thank you most of all, more than that even, for publishing signed and limited edition books by Lawrence Block. I gotta buy them because I love the author and I want to do my part to encourage more of these while we still can. And that means what that means. The last book in this set, Lucky at Cards. And this book was originally published under the title of Sex Shuffle by the author Sheldon Lord, 1964. If you're going to come up with a pen name, calling yourself Lord, ain't a bad deal, I guess. Why not? And man, look what a cover. This cover art, this dust jacket art, again, also by Chuck Pyle. One of the other ones that I just talked about was also Chuck Pyle. But it sure does look good. What does it say on the back here? Block unwinds his plot superbly, and along the way there is all the teasing, sexuality, and tongue-in-cheek noir style that a pulp devotee craves. It's a doozy by Book List. So there's my spine. Let's take off this cover and see what she looked like. All right, cloth boards, gold lettering inlaid in the spine, green end papers, and also copy number 126 of 500, signed in person beautifully by Lawrence Block. And there's my set. There's my set of Lawrence Block hard case crime novels, 3 of them. I'd like to see more. If they come out with another 3, he's got quite a few written under the different pseudonyms and such. I'd like to see more. I'll buy them. Put them on my shelf. Like I say, keep them coming. Thank you. Subterranean Press doing great work in this case. And there is another Bernie Roddenberry story coming, another burglar story coming. And I believe somewhere I read that Subterranean Press would also be publishing a signed and limited edition of that. And that's great. I love the Bernie Roddenberry burglar series, and I love signed and limited edition books. So thank you, Subterranean Press. If I haven't said so already, thank you for hooking a brother up with some great LB stuff. And I'm sure I'm forgetting to say something, but it didn't matter anyway. That's all lies that I'm gonna bother telling today. Thank you for your time. C'est la vie, baby.